Imagine being trapped in an unimaginable nightmare, for from home, with every shred of your freedom stolen and your very identity under attack. What profound indignity, what desperate spark, would ignite the courage, the sheer, unyielding will to fight back against overwhelming odds and an oppressively powerful force? During the brutal era of the transatlantic slave trade, slave ship mutinies were courageous and desperate acts of rebellion by enslaved Africans attempting to seize control of the vessels that transported them across the treacherous Middle Passage. These uprisings, though often met with extreme violence and frequently suppressed, represented powerful assertions of human dignity and an unwavering refusal to submit to the dehumanizing horror of enslavement. The driving forces behind these mutinies were deeply rooted in the horrific, indescribable conditions aboard the slave ships, which functioned as floating prisons and instruments of profound terror. Enslaved people endured extreme overcrowding, often packed so tightly they could not move, rampant diseases like dysentery and smallpox, starvation from inadequate food and water, and continuous, unimaginable physical and psychological cruelty from the crew. The desperation was absolute, fueled by the immediate threat of a lifetime of brutal bondage and the profound cultural shock of their capture, ripped from their families and lands. Many Africans, drawing from their cultural beliefs, genuinely feared they would be killed and even consumed by their captors upon arrival, making any chance of escape, however remote or dangerous, a preferable alternative to their perceived fate. Resistance was also strategically organized, often spurred by the presence of natural leaders among the enslaved, individuals who might have been warriors or respected community figures in their homelands. These leaders galvanized others, whispering plans in shared languages or through subtle signals. Opportunities for rebellion sometimes arose during moments of perceived vulnerability, such as when the crew was numerically outnumbered, distracted by storms, weakened by illness, or when the ship was tantalizingly close to the shores of Africa, offering a glimmer of hope for escape and return. Understanding these slave ship mutinies is absolutely crucial for grasping the profound agency and indomitable resilience of enslaved Africans, a perspective often overshadowed by narratives of passive victimhood. These events reveal that resistance was not merely an abstract concept or an isolated incident, but a constant, dynamic reality, continuously present in various forms, even within the most terrifying and oppressive system humanity has ever devised. These acts serve as a stark, powerful reminder that the systematic dehumanization inflicted by slavery was never, for a moment, fully accepted by those who suffered under it. By studying these events, we gain vital insight into the complex dynamics of power and resistance, and perhaps most importantly, the enduring strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable suffering and injustice. It helps us to see the enslaved not just as objects of history, but as active participants fighting for their lives and liberty. While open, large-scale mutinies that aimed to seize an entire ship were statistically rare compared to the vast total number of voyages across the Atlantic, perhaps occurring on approximately 1 in 10 to 1 in 20 ships. They were nonetheless far more frequent and significant than often acknowledged in traditional historical accounts. Some of the most well-known and impactful include the mutiny aboard the Spanish schooner Amistad in 1839, where enslaved Africans, led by Sengbi Pai, successfully took control of their ship, navigating it towards the Americas in a desperate attempt to return home. Another highly significant event was the Creole Mutiny in 1841, which stands as the most successful slave revolt in United States history, leading directly to 128 enslaved people gaining their freedom when the ship arrived in the British Bahamas, where slavery had been abolished. These dramatic events sent shockwaves through the entire system of the transatlantic slave trade, sparking increased paranoia among captains and leading to the implementation of even more stringent security measures and greater brutality. Yet organized resistance never entirely ceased. This constant threat of rebellion significantly impacted the economics and logistics of the trade, influencing ship design and crew sizes. The stories of slave ship mutinies are for more than mere footnotes. They are absolutely crucial, central elements of the transatlantic slave trade narrative. They powerfully demonstrate that enslaved people were not passive victims resigned to their fate. Instead, they were active agents, resilient individuals willing to risk everything, including their lives, in their desperate and courageous pursuit of freedom. These acts of rebellion challenged the very foundations of an inherently inhumane system, leaving an indelible mark on history that profoundly compels us to remember their immense struggle, unwavering courage, and their enduring fight for basic human rights and liberation. Their legacy reminds us of the profound cost of freedom and the unyielding will to secure it.
If you're into this, like, subscribe, and drop a comment.